and today I am going to do a tag video that I've seen going around. It's by Shovel360 originally, and I think it's called the K-pop bias tag. I'm not good with names of tags. This is terrible. And I have two biases, as you guys know, so I have to do two videos, one for Super Junior and one for Infinite. I don't know if I'll do the Infinite one today, but the Super Junior one can definitely do. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. There's 9 questions. I will leave them in the description box down below. You can either leave me a comment answering these questions, or you can make a video like I am. Question number 1. How many Super Junior albums do you have? Too many. No, I don't have too many. I don't have enough. I can never have enough Super Junior albums. My collection looks large. Here's a photo of it. I don't actually have my CDs with me because I'm at school, but here's a photo of it from my K-pop Facebook. You can friend me there if you want to look through my entire collection, because I have photos of my entire collection up there. I have about 55 albums currently from Super Junior, which is a good chunk of my collection. I believe it's about a little less than a third of my collection is Super Junior albums. This includes my repeats. I have 2 5-jib A's, 2 7-jib A's, and 2 6-jib B's. I don't know why I did 5, 7, 6. Question number 2, why did you start collecting your bias? I started when my dad gave me my illegal copy of 4-jib as a present on his way back from China. I found out that it was an illegal copy and I felt like I wasn't supporting the artist. So that's how I started buying K-pop albums. Was I wanted a real album to feel like I was supporting the artist, so I bought the 4-jib repack. And then from there, it just, once you have one, you just can't stop. Number 3, what do you need to complete your collection? How do you decide when your collection is complete? What I need to complete my collection, it's a list. Let me read it to you. Right now, it's Don't Dawn CD and CD DVD repack, Sorry Sorry B/C, I don't have any interest in D, SJM Perfection Normal and repack, SJM Skip Beat, it's an OST, but I really want it. Super Show CDs 1 through 3, Bijun CD and CD DVD, it's a Japanese single, Rokugo, Korean Japanese, SJH Cooking, and Victory Korea. So it sounds like a lot. Oh, the ELF versions of all the Japanese things too. Once I have everything on this list, I will feel good about my collection. I won't be in this constant, my collection is not complete, it's not complete. I feel like once I get through this though, I'm gonna want the Super Show DVDs, and it could change in a minute. Number 4, which album that you own was the hardest to get? The hardest one to get, Super Junior CDs, you might think that it's like really hard to find a lot of Super Junior CDs, but it's not. It's actually really not that hard. If you look in the right places, and sometimes you have to pay a little bit more than you're used to, but I promise you it's not hard. Don't Dawn, a Korean press. Like I said, most Super Junior things are really easy to find. This one is the only album I think that SM is not reprinted of Super Junior, but I think some things now are a lot harder to find, but the hardest thing for me to find, because I've been keeping up with things since Bonomana, is Don't Dawn version A Korean press. There's definitely other presses if you're not concerned about Korean press, but I really wanted the Korean press. Which album was the best value for what you paid? This was kind of a hard question for me because I enjoy all my Super Junior albums so much, and a lot of them are singles that have 1 or 2 songs on them. So I guess I'd have to say my limited editions of Sexy Free and Single Japan and Mamacita Japan, which those are the big things. I think they're really cool. I think they're a really unique part of my collection, and there's only 2 or 3 songs on those each, but I feel like they're just such an important part of my collection that I have, you know? Like, I feel like nothing else really measures up to those kinds of albums because you can show people. Number 6, what album was the worst value? I want to say the Acha repack, and any of their other CDs that are kind of shaped like that, because it's super flimsy. You pay for it like a normal kind of price of what you would pay for, say, one of like Infinite's mini albums. You know how those are shaped? They're pretty sturdy and they hold up a lot. I paid about the same amount for those kind of Acha repack. I love the songs on the Acha repack so much, and the songs were really good, but like they had those little card things. Don't not a fan, not a fan. And it's so flimsy and terrifying to just handle that album. And I think besides my jewel cases, those are the albums I worry about the most. What's your favorite album? My favorite album, I guess you'd have to say, is a combo between... I'm only going to do full-length albums for this, for Super Junior. I'm not going to go into subgroups and stuff. My favorite album is either the 4th album or the 5th album. Both of those are super solid albums. Not to say that 6 and 7 are any less solid. I feel like they're both really good albums. All of Super Junior albums are really good. I really love them all. But I feel like I still listen to the 4th album and the 5th album a lot. And I guess the 2nd album. Which is weird because the 3rd album is the one that everybody loves. But I feel like Bonomano and Mr. Simple were some of their best eras. I feel like those are kind of just the albums that I go back to the most and listen to the most, so those are my favorite. Least favorite, I'm gonna say their first Japanese album, because I never listened to it, because it's literally mostly their Japanese singles, which, like, that's a Japanese album, but most of their Japanese singles aren't original Japanese singles, you know what I mean? Like, they're not original Japanese songs. It's like Acha Japanese version and Mr. Simple Japanese version, and to me, I prefer Korean for all those songs just because I've listened to the Korean version so many more times. So hearing them in Japanese is weird for me. I don't like it very much. I just don't listen to that album. Ever. If you met your bias in person, which album would you have them sign and what page? So I went back to a lot of my unboxings when I was writing this last night. And I was thinking, if I ever met Donghae, I feel like I wouldn't be the kind of person who would, like, freak out over seeing Donghae. I feel like I'd be like, oh my god, that's what he looks like in person. I definitely want him to sign these pages in the Supergirl album. Those are some of my favorite Donghae pictures of all time, and I know that's such a weird thing to say, but back when I was just getting into Super Junior and was still choosing a bias and was watching variety shows as well as old music videos, I love Donghae in this, not Mr. Simple, in the Supergirl concept. I love his hair and everything about him. That's the original Donghae that I fell in love with, was that one, and I still love the current Donghae a lot. He's still my ultimate bias, obviously. He wasn't my ultimate bias back then, he was just my bias of Super Junior. But anyways, I love that. Another thing, I wouldn't have this album with me. Ever. Why would I carry it with me? But his photo in Mr. Simple A, not the cover of the album, his version of Mr. Simple A, but like the photos that came in Mr. Simple A, his photo where he's standing like this pose, that's also very, very favorite concept. What do you love about your bias group? Is the last question. What do I love about my bias group? Give me your love story. A lot of times when you see Super Junior articles, sometimes you don't see the name Super Junior, and what I love about that is that they all stand as their own separate people. They are all good at, and they're all like in musicals or acting or doing solo albums or singing solo OSTs, or like, you know, there's just so many things, or like hosting radio shows or variety shows, or, you know, there's just so many things the Super Junior members do. And what I really like is that you see them all individually like that, and if something ever happened to Super Junior, which someday something will happen, and they won't be a group anymore and I will just die, but they would all do well solo. They would all find something to do solo. But when you see them in a group, you watch music videos Super Junior, you don't see all the individual people somehow together, you know? You see a group. A very solid group who produces very good music, who compose music, who like write their own lyrics, who just are such a talented group of people that suddenly you don't see a large group of 15 people like when I first got into them. You see a team, and I think that it's very important to see not just your bias, to watch when I watch Super Junior music video, I don't just see Donghae. Never. I mean, I see him during his parts, and like I look for him when I go back and watch the music video for like the 10th time. But you see a very solid group of people who sing well together, who dance well, who are all just this team. And that's why I love them, because they're so perfect individually, but they're best when they're all together. So yeah, let me know what your answers would be for your favorite group. Doesn't have to be Super Junior. Whatever your favorite group is, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will do my infinite one after I script it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your answers would be down below, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!